Hi guys, in this video I'm going to talk to you about the worst decision this club has ever made, and that was with Vinay, the new CEO, not even Daniel Levy, one of the worst owners in this club's history. But anyways, let's get into it. The worst decision this club has ever made was sacking Ange Postecoglu after he won us our first trophy for 17 years and our first European trophy for over 40 years. Let that sink in, guys. They sacked the man who finally won them something. Anyways, let's get into it. So I don't believe that Daniel Levy actually sacked this guy. I feel like he was forced to sack him by the new ownership in Vinay, Enoch and Lewis, which is why we saw Daniel Levy, later down the line resign, and obviously he's made to leave the club, apparently. Anyways, so Daniel Levy's left now. Maybe because they've had a falling out over that decision, maybe that was what it was. And yeah, so with Ange Postecoglu getting sacked, he did come out in the media with Nottingham Forest and said, Daniel Levy, I asked him to win a trophy. He said this club needs a trophy. That's what Ange's words were. And ultimately, Ange Postecoglu did deliver that for Spurs. So why would Levy then go back on his word and sack him? It makes no sense to me. Cool. Obviously, Daniel Levy has a very harsh record of sacking managers in the past. Conte, Mourinho, Pochettino. But that's because under Poch, he wanted just top four. We all know that. He wanted top four, just Poch, just top four only. Poch wasn't achieving that in his last season. The players were on the decline. But yeah, so they got rid of him. Mourinho was nowhere near the top four. They sacked him even before a cup final. So clearly in Daniel Levy's mind, it was all about Champions League back then anyways. Against Antonio Conte. Conte was in the top four in that second season of his. But he did say some words. He fired at the board. He shot at the board. And he got himself sacked, in my opinion. And that season finished 8th anyways. In comes Ange Postecoglu. His first finish comes... sorry, let's go back to the start of it. So Ange gets hired. Levy's now asked him, apparently, according to Ange, Levy's asked him, oh, so I want you to win me a trophy. This club needs a trophy, right? So Ange's like, cool, I'll get you that trophy then, clearly. Came out in the media, he's very confident about it. Especially in that second season, he always said, I always win things my second year, mate. He always said that. He backed by it. And ultimately, he delivered. First season became 5th, no trophy. Second season, obviously became 17th. But the context, it's taken so much out of context. The amount of injuries we had last season was an absolute disgrace. I couldn't believe that the injuries we had. Van der Ven, Romero, Udogi, who else is there? Solanke, Madison, Kulusevski, Sarr at points. Like, the injury list was a joke. Was beyond a joke, actually. And he had a decision in his mind. Either go for the league, finish maximum 11th, 12th, maybe even 10th at a push. Cool. Or, we had the Europa League, obviously, from finishing 5th the year before. Go for the Europa League, bag us a trophy, get into the Champions League that way, get extra prize money, done. So, obviously, he chose the route of the Europa League, made all the way to the final, won Europa League in Bilbao. Heroic day, heroic manager. He's a legend, he's an icon of Spurs, of course. He done what Conte, Mourinho and Pochettino couldn't do, won us a trophy. Anyways, so then why would Levy then go back on his word? He said to Ange Postecoglu before he hired him that this club needs a trophy. Ange delivered that trophy, but then a few days after the parade, he got sacked. Like, let that sink in, he got sacked. But Levy wanted a trophy. It wasn't about top four for Levy anymore. Because he knew the fans would get onto him about the trophy situation. Us fans, we didn't care about not finishing top four too much. We didn't care about that stuff. All we wanted was a trophy. And Ange delivered that. So why is it that Daniel Levy eventually left our club after he got sacked? Apparently he got sacked by Daniel Levy. Apparently, that's what came out. But I believe that Daniel Levy was forced into doing it. Hence why he stepped down from the club. He stepped away from the club. And that's my opinion. You guys may disagree with me. You guys maybe think I'm talking a bunch of crap. But in my opinion, that's how it went down. Vinay came in and said, look, Daniel, you got to sack this guy. We got a new plan in mind where we want Thomas Frank in, a manager to fight on all fronts. But how has that gone, Vinay? How has that gone? We've hired Thomas Frank now. We've gone with your plan now. You took Levy off the footballing decisions. We all agreed with that at the time. We thought, yeah, good. But look what's happened now to our club. We hired Thomas Frank to fight on all fronts, and now Carabao Cup, not down the 4th round. FA Cup, not down the 3rd round. Champions League, cool, came 4th, through to the last 16 of the champs. Premier League, we are now 15th, 15th, as of recording this video, 6 points clear of relegation. You're telling me that's fighting on all fronts? Seriously? Seriously? Ange got sacked for not fighting on all fronts. But Frank's doing exactly the same, really. Ange actually done better last season. Ange was never this much in danger. Cool, we came 17th, right? But if you look at the table across the season, we were never anywhere near getting relegated like that. It was just a position basis, like, we were 17th, cool. But he made it further in the Carabao Cup, made it always to the semi-finals. We won the first leg, lost the second leg, cool, unlucky. Anfield, tough place to go. Our team was absolutely run to the ground. The squad was finished. The team was we had so many injuries. Cool. FA Cup, made it to the fourth round. And that's alright. We were knocked out of Villa Park 2-1, I think it was at the time. And I can accept that. Because we still had the Europa League to play for. And we all believed that we actually had a feeling we were going to win that Europa League. And we won it. We won it. We got that route into the Champions League and we won it. We won it and we all had a parade. Everyone was so happy. The players were so happy. It's like the club was back. It's like we got our club back. We got our Tottenham back. But then we sack Ange and it's all come falling apart. Van der Ven had an interview with Gary Neville on the overlap, right? And he said he woke up to the news, he looked at his phone and he saw the news on his phone and he was shocked. He was shocked that the manager got sacked. That just tells me everything. That just tells everyone everything. That means the players wanted Ange Postecoglu to stay and they would have preferred him to stay and they wanted to fight with him. And Van der Ven also said he believes in Ange Postecoglu football and he believes that's the way that the teams should play football. So we hired this Thomas Frank guy who has come in now, has done he's done an absolute horrible job. He's undone everything. We're probably going to just about survive in the Premier League. Let that sink in. Tottenham Hotspur Football Club are just about going to survive in this year's Premier League. Champions League, God knows what's going to happen. I'm not going to say I'd be delusional and be like, yeah, we've got the Champions League to play for, guys. We're going to win the Champions League. Because no, reality is we're not winning that Champions League. The maximum we're making it is, if we're very lucky, is to the semi-final. That's if we're very lucky. And it's just getting to the point where I'm worried. Like, how's the club not sacked him? How have we not sacked Thomas Frank? Because I know for damn sure, if Daniel Levy was in charge right now, he would have sacked Frank a long time ago. I think he would have sacked Frank either after we got battered by Arsenal in that disgraceful performance 4-1 in the North London derby, or when we lost at home to Fulham 2-1. That's when I think Levy would have pulled the trigger on him. But no, Levy ain't at the club no more. Levy has no control. It's all Vinay, Enoch and Lewis, or whoever it is now. Vinay has come in. We've hired an ex-Arsenal CEO. He's come in and he is tearing our club to shreds. He is shredding our club to shreds. Make of that what you will. But yeah, that decision of sacking Ange Postecoglu and hiring Thomas Frank was the worst decision this club has ever made in its entire history, in my opinion. And now we're just in a mess. We're in danger. And in my opinion, we just have to stick with Frank now for the rest of the season, unfortunately. Because you start with the decision to back him now. You got to do it. You got to stick with him now. But now you have to wait till the summer and find someone who's going to be available who wants to join Spurs. And there's only one manager in this whole world that would want to join Spurs. And that is Mauricio Pochettino. But that's just my opinion, isn't it? You guys may have different opinions. But in my opinion, it has to be Mauricio Pochettino. But anyways, that's my thoughts. That's my little explanation on the club right now and how I feel things went down behind the scenes. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel and come on, you Spurs.